Hi there, this is Susan Beyer, and you are at Fun with Research. Thanks for joining me today. Today we're going to talk about a very common question that I get, which is, what do I do when my client, my boss, whatever says, we already know about our audience. We already know what their challenges are. We already know how they feel and what they want. So why should we do research? This is pretty common, and the first thing I'll tell you is that if your organization doesn't want to hear or utilize stuff coming out of research, don't do research. It's just a waste of your time and your money if your organization isn't prepared to listen to the good, the bad, and the ugly. So that's an important consideration just when sort of considering research at all. But for this specific question, sort of how do you respond to that if you are someone that's trying to get research conducted for your organization, if you're an agency trying to talk to a client about doing research, what do you say if somebody says that? Well, the first thing I say is, you're probably right. You probably do know a fair amount about what's happening with your audience. Otherwise, you would probably not be in business. And any of us who work in organizations, who work with customers, or whatever, obviously we are having direct experience with those folks. We're hearing their complaints. We're asking them why they bought from us. We're reading their social media posts about our brand. So there's no question that there are things that you do know and you have observed about your customers, your prospects, your influencers, your various audiences. But the other thing I would suggest is that we all create assumptions based on our own experiences, and a lot of cases those experiences are pretty limited. We may be hearing from 2 or 3 of the loudest voices every month of customers complaining this or that, or we go someplace, we have a conversation with someone and it has a big impact on us. And it is a human thing to develop sort of very fondly held assumptions about things because of those kinds of conversations. In addition, we live in a bubble. If you're working with an organization that's providing a certain product or working in a certain category, just by nature of the fact that you're working in that business, we all sort of develop a sort of bubble sensibility about what's going on in that industry, about what people are aware of and what they're not aware of, why they make the choices they do, etc. So there are these assumptions. What I tell prospects and clients who have this challenge is, look, research can do a number of things. One thing it can do is potentially validate that what you believe is true. Okay, the data may show that you're exactly right, and if that's the case, that's great, and you move forward with the added confidence of knowing that what you've always thought is true. It can also test assumptions that you believe to be true to see if they are true or not, and for whom are they true. One of the other things we do sort of automatically lump everybody together as the same kind of people having the same kind of needs and objections and concerns and attitudes. And we know from many, many research studies over the last 11 years that is not the case at all, that there are different audiences within audiences. And a lot of times our clients are very sort of happy to see a particular segment. It validates assumptions that they have based on their own experience with their customers and prospects, but they can also be very surprised to see other segments that they didn't really realize were out there buying products like theirs, or in fact even buying their products. So testing assumptions is a really important part of research. The other thing is learning new things, learning insights that you may not be able to get any other way. Attitudinal segmentation is one of these things. You can't determine the types of segments, the types of attitudes that are linked together for people until you sort of look at that mathematically at scale and see, oh, that's really interesting, that's happening. So there are a lot of reasons to do research, even if your client is, or you are very smart, have a lot of experience in the space, have talked to tons of people, it's still worth doing research to find out if you're right, what you're right about, what you might not be right about, what nuances exist in your audience, and what you can learn from research. So that's how I address that question. For me, a perfect study is one where my clients see something that they expected and they can pat themselves on the back for that insight and understanding that they have held, but also see things that were not expected, that give them new ways to think about serving their audience, new ideas for being helpful and providing resources and products and services. And for me, that's a perfect blend. So hope that's helpful. Come back to Fun with Research. You can visit us at funwithresearch.com and see all of our videos plus some free downloadable resources. I hope we see you next Friday. Bye.